Your ass better call somebody!
You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE.
Give me a hell yeah!
Now, let's meet the host. Kyle Gagliardi.
The face that runs the place.
Jim Tucker. And Erica Marini.
I'm the boss. I'm the blueprint. I'm the standard.
Well, I think we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
Going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I'm your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi, and one of my co-hosts is my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle? I think the goal with the stanky face is just to try to make Erica laugh now.
And every time.
The biggest fan by far. We are also joined by Erica Marini at Erica_0328 on Twitter. Erica, sup, dog?
Sup, yo? A little under the weather. I sound better than I have all day, surprisingly. So I think we're doing all right.
And
Other than that, things are great.
And you got the memo. We were going with hoodies tonight. Me
Black
and Erica
hoodies,
at least
yep,
got the memo. Tuck. It's probably not as cold as it is in our parts. What's the weather like over there?
We got some snow coming in. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
chilly boy.
First snow of the year out there? Or you've already had some?
Second. Yeah.
Is it warm during the day?
Yeah, it'll get up to like 50. Yeah.
Oh, so it's similar to what we
It's
got
been-
going on in Indiana then.
Yeah. We're heading to a chill freeze, but yeah, we drive to Sacramento Saturday, and we got to drive through the mountains. So my front wheel drive car hopefully will be able to make the trip. We'll see.
Nope.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Best of luck
Yeah.
to you. You weren't able to join us last week, Tuck. How was your Thanksgiving week?
Wonderful. Tuesday through Sunday in Newport Beach.
Nice.
So 70 degrees, hot tub.
Booty.
It was really difficult. Yeah, it was really tough. Yeah.
Good to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Robbie Collins coming
Glad you
off of
survived.
his birthday saying hello. Hope you guys are
Yay.
doing well. What a week of wrestling indeed. And Steve, of course, the SCW Wrestling Channel. He said it's the most wonderful time of the year. Happy December,
Oh, yeah.
OTM. Hope you're doing well. And December is a big month for OTM. We have the OTMEs at the end of the month. And we're also approaching 1 year of Erica Marini as co-host of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Erica, can you believe it?
Imagine that. No, I can't. It's like that Paul Rudd meme.
I think who would have
You know,
thought?
whatever. Yeah.
Look at us. Look at us.
I would have thought, like I've said
Look at
numerous
us.
times, I was trying to get you to be a part of this show for a long time, wasn't I,
You
Tuck?
were.
I
You
think I
were.
brought that up a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was some.
A highly coveted free agent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got her, and we got her for good, I think. At least I hope so. But you see this hoodie I'm wearing, the OTM hoodie. You can go get yourself one. It's the holiday season. Go to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. We got banger after banger after banger t-shirt. We got to stop the what chants because the what chants are annoying as hell. You can even get yourself a Bryan Danielson appreciation shirt, or if you just want to rep the pod with our logo on it, On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com has you covered. And Tucky, for the second year in a row, we are doing a Secret Santa shirt exchange. You want to tell the listeners a little bit of what that's all about?
Oh, yeah. It's the best time of year. So OTM Secret Santa shirt exchange, a good dose of alliteration there to start your evening. You fill out a form. And basically, if you fill out a form, you're agreeing to buy someone a wrestling shirt from a company, from a brand. I don't know if, okay, Gags was frozen. You were making a face there. So what brands you like, what companies you like.
Sucker.
He gone. And then you give your address. I run a Secret Santa generator. You get an email. Here's your person. Here's their responses. Buy them a shirt.
Yes. And you know you're going to
Last
get
year,
one.
I think we had, yeah. And I was pumped about I think everyone was pretty good. Like I think people liked the options. So
Yeah, it was fun. You do it well.
I don't know.
Done.
I don't know if I missed it while my internet lagged out, Tuck, but do you know how many people we got about right now?
Last time I checked, it was 2.
Oh, so that means I was gonna say. So it sounds like one of the co-hosts of the podcast did not sign up.
Oh, no, I know the crew, like the crew that we're expecting to be there. They'll get there when we tell them to get there.
Do it.
Well, I did put a direct link in the text.
I know.
Your friends.
And then they'll ask, where was the link to sign up? All over social media at Pod on the Mark on every account.
They're good friends, but they're kind of the worst.
Isn't that what friends are all about?
It really sums it up, yeah.
It really does. So, yeah, like Robbie said, a lot of wrestling going on this week. So we're kind of just going to hop around from one thing to another. Let's start off here with Survivor Series, which happened last Saturday, War Games specifically. And we can go with the first matchup that was on the card, and it was the women's War Games match where you had the babyface team led by Bianca Belair pick up the win. We had a lot of fun spots, I thought, in this matchup. It wasn't really as story-driven as the main event was, in my opinion, but you had a good spots with the kendo sticks, tables, Becky going off the top. I thought it was a very fun start to Survivor Series. How do we feel about this women's War Games match as a whole? Because this is the first one we've seen on the main roster.
I think I didn't like it as much as like previous NXT War Games women's matches. There was just something off to I often think it's just me being a naysayer. So I even like hopped on Twitter just to see what the masses were saying. And enough of what I saw was kind of saying this was not a mess, maybe like a hot mess, or just kind of had no direction, or there wasn't really much to it. And I kind of felt the same way. I wasn't blown away by it.
A lot of people commented, talk on like the overusage maybe of weapons. Like you can make the War Games match itself is brutal without weapons because you have 2 of the rings set up and the cage itself. Do you feel that could have been a critique of this, or did you enjoy it as a whole?
Well, I have a critique in regards to some of the stuff because a lot of weapon-driven spots have one way to be hit effectively, right? Like, Alexa Bliss doing a suplex, she lands on the garbage can and the other person was supposed to land on it. So I think it was ambitious and had a high ceiling, but I don't think they met it. I thought it was good. Like, okay, right. Good start to the pay-per-view, I guess. The first main roster War Games, but it was kind of like a shotgun blast. There was a lot of stuff going many directions. And when you compare that to the men's War Games being pretty tunnel visioned and focused and streamlined within this story, everything made sense. All the questions were kind of answered. It was like satisfying. Was that the best War Games match either? No, but it just, the end of that one felt more satisfying.
Yeah.
The women's one, there were a few at the end of it. You're like, huh, okay.
And if it was to be reversed, it wouldn't have, which I feel like I understand that the men's obviously had much more storyline to it, but like quality of match, it would have been, if you could have swapped them, I don't know, maybe the women could have kicked ass the whole, you know what I mean? I don't know. And it just didn't stand up to the men's match or past women's War Games matches. And then touch on what Robbie said.
Yeah, I think Robbie's making a very good point here. He said he's very surprised that there was no big story change in this match. He thought that something was bound to happen with Alexa and Bray because that is something they've been teasing constantly on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And not just that, I mean, we didn't really know for sure what Bianca's next step was going to be after that match, because me and Erica assumed when we did the show last week that maybe Rhea would be a big reason why they picked up the win, and then we could go on with that story. But that doesn't seem to be the direction, and we still don't know, like Robbie's saying, what's going on with Alexa Bliss. So I mean, overall, I thought it was solid. I don't have anything to complain about. You have War Games veterans like Dakota Kai and Io Sky. I think they shined pretty well in this match.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like, or that kept making me like cringe, was the trash can lid was up. And like when they kept doing spots on it, and I was like, that absolutely fucking kills. and like, there's no way around it.
Exactly. And kudos to all the women participating. I mean, War Games can't be an easy match.
I couldn't do it. So
especially a match that they haven't done very often. Just to construct that as a whole, I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Well, and you don't rehearse high spots, like that's the tough part about it. You got to try to get it right. The timing of it.
do people want to see the Alexa Bray thing again? Like,
well, let's ask each one of us. Erica, do you want to see it?
no, I do not.
Tuck?
Yeah, I'm interested.
I would say that's the good way of wording it. I'm interested, but I don't need it or want it, you know?
It's been done.
Yeah, but has this Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy, like I think there's a little bit of a different energy.
Speaking of Bray Wyatt, it would have been nice to maybe have an appearance of sorts on Survivor Series, even if it was a match with LA Knight. I feel like we need to speed up his character a little bit here too, because we are really slow playing the Bray Wyatt stuff.
I guess.
Just my opinion. We got a lot of comments.
No.
Steve said he liked the women's War Games match, seemingly built a few feuds going forward. But this was more of a spot fest, like we said, decent enough. It was the EO was the MVP. He's saying. Ryan Vogus chiming in. Hello, Ryan Vogus. Steve said he prefers Bliss was a target of Bray instead of working together. Okay, all right,
interesting.
Liam saying thank you, Kyle, for the follow back on Twitter. OTM is easily my favorite pod. We love to hear that. Thanks for tuning in, bud. And Robbie asked, what else is for Alexa if you don't give her the Bray spot? She's isn't near a title, and if you give her that Bray thing, it could push her somewhere.
But she was like at one time one of the top women, and then I think she fell into this Bray thing. I think it got weird. I didn't care. I am not an Alexa Bliss fan, but I can appreciate a good thing when I see it. But I don't know. Like the Lily thing was weird.
Very.
It could have been something that for me it never ended up being. I think I wanted more, and maybe it just fell flat. So now like I appreciated when she went to like therapy and she got rid of the doll, or she still had the doll, but she kind of moved on. I was like, all right, now she's going to go back. She's going to go back maybe into the main title picture. And that's just kind of like, you're like sliding back into what you got out of. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me, but I'll give it a chance. For you, Robbie, I'll give it a chance.
The old college try. Also a chance for Ryan Vogus. We know he's a big fan of Alexa Bliss as well.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on here to the next match at Survivor Series, where AJ Styles picked up a big win over his rival Finn Balor. And believe it or not, guys, this is his first singles PLE win since 2019. So when me and Erica talked about that he desperately needed a win, he got it. And there really wasn't as many shenanigans as I expected, Tuck, because you kind of would have assumed that the Judgment Day or the OC would have got more physically involved, right?
I appreciated how little they were involved. Of course, there were shenanigans, but I think it was like a tasteful amount, right? Like that wasn't the driver behind it, and what we got was a pretty good match.
Yeah, Erica, what were your thoughts on this one?
I agree with what you both said, and I like that AJ ended up getting the win, but just like we weren't sure in picking who would end up winning, there was a couple times during that match where I definitely thought it could go either way, but I liked the way it done, and the shenanigans were done tastefully. So
it wasn't overkill.
Yes, no, I liked the match a lot, and I was happy with the outcome, and it keeps them both going.
Absolutely. And Robbie Collins thinks that match was a banger after banger after banger. You put two top class talents in the ring, he says, and they shine.
Can't
and that's
go wrong.
Exactly what happened here. And I don't know if the feud is actually over, because they did have that 4-on-4, was it? Or was it 3-on-3 tag? It was 4-on-4. It was a mixed tag on Monday Night Raw. And Rhea Ripley got the pin over Mia Yim. I don't know. I don't think that's the end of it, right? Like, there's got to be more to this story.
Somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah, we'll see.
Some way.
Steve's saying match was solid. We need the rubber match between AJ and Finn. Let's hope it's not another 5 years until that rematch. Yeah, there was a long gap in between those two going at it one-on-one. But for the most part, it was a pretty straightforward one-on-one match, and AJ Styles got the win. And the next match here at Survivor Series got a lot of people talking, and not for good reasons either. And it's the fact that Ronda Rousey retained in about a 10-minute match against Shotzi, which that was surprising in itself. A lot of weird spots here. It wasn't the most fluid match, wasn't smooth, but I think we might have a Ronda Rousey problem in WWE. And this is coming from someone that has supported Ronda Rousey her entire run. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I've kind of had enough of her.
I was happy when she got. I was happy when she got with Shayna because I wanted that. I think a few of us wanted that for so long, but I don't know if it's just. I saw people say like, is it or you? Is it the opponents that she's facing? Is it because we don't have the Charlottes, the Beckys, the Sashas to kind of carry her through? But then like you're a champion, like you should kind of be able to do this without somebody carrying you. And then I just don't know, like, is it her like talking? Does she need a mouthpiece? Does she need a Paul Heyman like behind her? Something, but she obviously needs someone to carry her through this WWE career. And I think that's becoming apparent now that she's not doing this on her own. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't.
Has she ever had a match of the night? Has
At
she ever had
WrestleMania in her debut? Maybe
I love that match a lot.
with Kurt Angle.
And
that was a
Triple H.
tag.
Yeah, but it still was very good.
Yeah, with somebody else on her own. Has she had a match where it just slapped?
I mean, the triple threat was solid at WrestleMania too, but once again, not one-on-one.
One-on-one straight.
You had Charlotte and Becky in that, right?
Yeah. You can think of many singles women's matches that just went hard. Ronda Rousey is in none of them for me.
No. And that's a good point that Steve said.
Yeah. Steve asked this question, is Ronda's heart into this run? It definitely is not hitting the same as 2018.
Does it help that when she left last time, whether it was kayfabe or not, that she talked all that shit about the wrestling industry, and then you came back and you have seemingly lost like your fire for it? But does that kind of like, are we looking into it as, that you don't have the same passion, you don't have the same heart for it as you did before? Like, are you here for the money? Like, did it change since you had your baby? I don't know, but something's off.
I kind of wonder if it's just because she actually is a full-time superstar now, because the allure and the attraction, sort of like what Brock Lesnar was, is kind of what Ronda Rousey, was in that early run. Now she's in and out every week on TV, and more of her flaws can be exposed that way.
She's main event because of her name, not because she 100% fits the bill of someone that should be main event. Someone like a Sasha, a Becky, a Bayley that can carry themselves in the ring and on the mic and kind of have the whole total package. She doesn't, but she is in that picture because of her name.
And is Ronda Rousey name even as big as it once was here in 2022 going on 2023?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so. If it was 5 years ago or even a couple years ago, yeah, I would say it is. But you're getting more bang for your buck bringing in guys like Logan Paul and what he's been able to accomplish. So, yeah, I don't know where you go from here. Tuck, do you have any ideas of who could potentially dethrone Ronda? Is that Shayna, or do you think we're going to need a return of one of the 4 horsewomen to save us?
Yeah, I think we're gonna need a big gun. Matchup wise, I don't know who it would be. Sasha would be great. Like I could even see like Naomi re-debuting and taking it. Like you
as a member of the bloodline, maybe too.
Yeah, right. Like you put her on a heater and send her. It's like if those two come back, it's pretty important how you package them upon their return because of how things were settled too. So against Ronda right now, I mean, Shotzi didn't look great. It was ambitious again, but
and let's be honest, Shotzi hasn't looked great much on the main roster.
I don't get it.
And she had a rough Money in the Bank. They're trying to rebuild her, and Triple H seems to be behind her. But this was a no from me as well. So we do have a Ronda problem.
We do. We definitely do, guys.
Mr. Bogus.
Mr. Bogus checking in. He says, hello, everyone.
We were waiting. Come on, dude.
Jesus, man. Holding us up over here. Steve said, think Ronda is keeping the gold until Mania. Then you can do Ronda versus Becky. Still hasn't happened 1v1. Yeah, that's with the reactions, and we're going to talk about it briefly from Monday Night Raw, that Becky's already getting in this new face return. I think everyone would want to see Becky take that title away from Ronda Rousey. And Robbie's still holding on. He says, Shotzi a champ one day.
I hope you're right, Robbie. Also, Robbie pointed out, he said
years.
long shot, but maybe William Regal comes back.
Ooh. So that's also something we were going to touch on a little later in the show when we get to our AEW part. That's not a bad idea. Maybe.
No?
I wouldn't be against it, that's for sure. Let's move on from the Ronda Rousey problem and go to something that I think was a highlight from Survivor Series, and it was Austin Theory getting back the U.S. title and what I thought was a fantastic triple threat. I'm loving this Theory redemption story, whatever you want to call it, that we're getting. I think he's now a legitimate threat on Monday Night Raw. Eric, how do you feel about Theory taking back the gold?
This was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I always root for Austin Theory, and I love that after the whole Money in the Bank thing went down, we all kind of saw a turn coming, a change happening, and I love that they didn't just let it fall stagnant and just pick it up down the road. Like, nope, they kept with it. I love that he won the championship back, and I'm very, very interested to see where it goes from here, for whether you think it's Seth and Cody related or not, but I'm here for it and I'm happy about it.
Tuck, there's a lot of critique I see on social media, and I've listened to a few podcasts that they're saying that it's a little too soon to get him a title after just failing to cash in. I don't agree with that. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, how do you package it, right? If you say like he wanted to cash in because regardless he would get into the mix of the three of them, like even if it didn't work that time, he took it. I think you can package him as like a calculated risk taker type. Like he's definitely more aggressive. He's got this new kind of edge to him. And I'm here for that. I thought it was a good match. I kind of judge the big guys like on their timing, right? And cameras have a little bit to do with that on TV, but I thought they were all where they needed to be when they needed to be. And it was fun towards the end. It got a little chaotic.
A lot of innovative spots too. I like the sleeper hold that Bobby had on, and then Theory hopped on his back. I mean, there was a lot of near falls in it, and in triple threats in general, there's just so much fun things you can do. And when you throw guys like Seth Rollins in here, who's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, Bobby Lashley, a vet, and Theory, who's on the up and up, I mean, it's a recipe for success. So I was very pleased with that matchup as well. Robbie asked a good question, though. Where does Seth go from here? What's next for Seth Rollins?
Well, do you still think that it's prepping him for Cody's return?
I mean, that would be my guess.
And maybe
is
that's how that spirals instead of Austin Theory? Or he's already spiraled.
Does Cody return and try to get the U.S. title first and use that as leverage?
Well, it's now getting to a point where it's like, do people even want Cody to come back and dethrone Roman? Is that the answer?
I don't think at this point.
Well, it might not be now, but Mania is a long time away too. You know, it depends on what they've got in mind. Like, what's the end game for the bloodline? Does it blow up at Mania? Like,
cards always subject to change too.
Are they going to go through WrestleMania, another WrestleMania with all the straps? Like,
they might.
I'm kind of excited for WrestleMania.
Oh, me too. First Triple H run WrestleMania. It should be awesome. Ryan Bogus is saying they executed it well. Wish they would have let him spiral a little bit more before he capitalized. Yeah, that's a fair critique. And Steve agrees as well. He said great chemistry from all three superstars. Love the finish. So, yeah, there's still some time to fill between now and the Royal Rumble. And then you have the Elimination Chamber, which is going to be in Montreal, I believe, which is where Sami Zayn is from. And the rumors are that potentially Sami Zayn could face Roman Reigns at that PLE. Now that would be something, wouldn't it?
That's something brewing there. I don't know what, but that means a lot has to happen before then, right?
Well, yeah, and I think they started that story here in the main event for that men's War Games match, which that's really what this was. It obviously was a match, but to me, I think they told more storytelling in here. I mean, you have Roman Reigns, who is kind of controlling who enters the ring next, and Sammy breaking up in pinfall when Roman Reigns got stunned by Kevin Owens. I mean, Tuck, there was just so many layers that came out of this and so many question marks, but it was just so good, especially them hugging at the end and embracing.
Yeah, well, and the ambiguity of some of the messages, like you can still argue each way. Like, was it a genuine hug? Was it oh, they loved each other, they meant it. So I think that's where, you know, we're still in the fun part of the story where we don't know exactly where it's going to go, and everybody's picking their own kind of ending that they want. It was a lot of fun.
Erica, your thoughts?
I loved it. I love that they won. I love that Sammy seemingly won them over and earned their trust and respect. I mean, why is Roman questioning him? He was honest with him when he asked if he talked to Kevin, and he did, and he didn't lie about it, and he proved his loyalty during the match. So why don't you just chill out, Roman?
Yeah, Roman.
Exactly.
Being so paranoid, Roman.
You tell him. you tell him. Let's go to Steve's comment here first. He said storytelling done to perfection.
Yeah.
Built up so well throughout the night. This match alone turned the PLE from good to great.
Ended on such a high note.
Yeah, and as Robbie's saying, this main event was a chef's kiss. Storytelling once again. And I totally agree with him, Erica. Something doesn't feel right with Solo Sikoa.
I mean, have you seen the people that say, like, maybe, like, I don't know, does this have anything to do with The Rock?
Well, I saw that too. What if The Rock kind of sent Solo in there to infiltrate the bloodline?
To set up for...
Because Tuck, he didn't throw up the one.
But he doesn't always. And I saw somebody say that he doesn't always, and they were like, cap, and then like posted a picture of him doing it. But I feel like he's like the same as Jamie Hayter not doing like the DMD. Like he just kind of like stands there, and that's his MO. And that's what I'm choosing to believe.
Okay. Tuck, you think anything fishy is going on with Solo Sikoa?
I hope so. I just think it would be fun. I don't have like clues or insider. That's just a fun spin for him, and a hell of a way to make a guy, a new guy just up to the main roster. So I'm intrigued. I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see it. I think Solo could definitely be a single star, and I think we got little hints in this match of maybe him and Drew McIntyre going at it in a feud, because he put Drew McIntyre through that table, and that was a very cool spot. And he just seems like a legitimate threat on the SmackDown roster. And then again, maybe he's not on the SmackDown roster.
And isn't it all crazy that it happened because the Usos couldn't go to whatever that pay-per-view was, and he had to like show up for them and help Roman? Like, that's crazy.
Classic
and now
example.
Yeah.
And now we have so many different directions where this story can go out of just one men's War Games match. I would assume you guys enjoyed the men's War Games more than the women's then?
Yeah.
Overall, Tuck, what's your grade for Survivor Series, Teach?
84.
Solid show?
Yeah, it was good. I like another really good match on top. Like they had 6 matches, and it was just the Ronda match. Pretty sour.
It's a big stinker, ain't it?
Big stinker. Yeah.
Erica, what kind of grade are you giving Survivor?
I said B+.
Okay.
So
you're about 87, 88. I'd probably be at 85. I'm around where Tuck is. I thought it was solid from top to bottom, but kind of like what Steve was saying, that main event took it from good to even better.
Yeah.
And one more comment here from Steve before we move on. Solo's booking and presentation since being called up from NXT has been exceptional. He feels like a much bigger deal in such short space of time. And It's hard to disagree with you, Steve, because he's the man. But speaking of the man, let's go over to Monday Night Raw, because there were a few things from Monday Night Raw I wanted to talk about. And one of them being the way it kicked off, because it was a commercial-free first hour of Raw. And you had Becky Lynch come out to a huge reaction. She decided to just embrace the fans, which is a very dangerous thing to do because you never know what's going to happen with a live mic. She cuts a promo with her good friend Bob. Zachary's out there. I think Zachary was a little too horny. He started grabbing Becky. It was a little weird.
Yeah.
But Bob, good for you, Bob, but let's put the phone away. You don't need to get the video recording. You got the camera right in front of your face. No.
That would be you.
No, it would not. I would totally be just buying into it and being a part of it on TV, because I could go watch the DVR later.
Uh-huh.
You're so
All
right.
right.
You don't know me then.
I don't. You think you know me.
Exactly. But Tuck, how do we feel about this opening segment? I thought it was a very unique way to kick off Monday Night Raw.
Well, and it felt like less scripted. You know what I mean? Like it felt a little bit like, oh, anything could happen. You want to watch and pay attention and hopefully not see any more Zachary's out there. A little handsy, my guy.
And it was pretty cool, too, that Bayley was the one to interrupt her. And people can correct me if I'm wrong. They might have had a feud in NXT or something, but I can't recall one-on-one feud with them on the main roster. And it looks like that's the direction we're headed, Erica, because Bayley interrupted, talking shit to Bob, and then Damage Control, Becky Lynch, they were fighting throughout the concourse. I just thought it was a very unique way to kick off Monday Night Raw.
I missed a lot of this because Monday is when I started to really get sick. I left work and I slept a lot. I have some recollection, but I also remember seeing Twitter blow up. I can't believe that we've never had a Becky Bayley. I loved it. And then I saw somebody, I'm trying to think of what they called it, Baylynch. BAYLYNCH. So I'm here for it. And I'm also curious who Becky's
backup
henchman would be. Yeah.
Maybe this is a spot for Sasha and Naomi.
I think we all just have our dicks out for Sasha and Naomi. We will fill them in wherever there's two open spots. But I know. What do you think about, let me say, what do you think about Sasha at the Celtics game? This one guy just kept repeating his comment to anybody that tweeted about it. But like, they're like, what's that a big deal? And he's like, because Survivor Series was just in that same building and she didn't show up. And that's very telling. I don't know.
I think they're looking a little too far into it.
What?
Yeah.
She lives in Boston. She didn't go to an event that she was not employed to be at, and then she chose to go see a basketball game.
I'm hoping you're right. I choose to believe, but if she doesn't come back by me,
it would be different if she was sitting front row at AEW Dynamite or chilling at Impact
the
Wrestling.
Rumble's at the end of January. We'll see you there, Sasha.
She trolled too last time AEW was in Boston, and she like tagged Boston like in some parking garage, and I think she knows what she's doing.
They definitely know what they're doing. This is how they get the buzz around their name. I mean, and everybody's talking about her still, and they haven't been on TV since what? At the beginning of 2022 or something like that? It's been a while.
Yeah, I think like spring.
Gags, you were correct, kind of, in the Bayley Becky Lynch. They have one singles match on the main roster. April 30th, 2019 on a SmackDown.
So it was not a pay-per-view match. Okay.
No, it was like a throw-in.
Oh, it was a throw-in. Okay.
2 months. They've been in matches together on teams against teams, but they're only they have two singles matches ever, one in NXT and one on SmackDown Live.
Which is crazy because, Becky has had a thing with Sasha. She's had one with Charlotte Flair, but not Bayley. And those have been two of the mainstays of the women's division for the past 7-8 years or however long it's been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. I think it'll
be
good.
It's crazy that it's been, and it's like something fresh.
Yeah, and we're here in 2022, and we're saying that Bayley versus Becky is something fresh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Awesome.
Very weird.
Heel Bayley.
Yeah.
Face Becky. Love it.
One more thing from Monday Night Raw I wanted to bring up. Erica, I don't know if you were able to catch any of this match. I just wanted to give some more love to the women's division because I thought what Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae did in their one-on-one match was very good, very strong, very similar to what we would see on NXT. And it seems like, Tuck, that it's not just these two, but the women's division in general is getting plenty of time to showcase their skills on weekly television.
Yep, and I'm happy about it, no doubt.
Erica, did you see any of this or no?
A little bit. And when I saw it advertised, I was like, oh, this match is going to be awesome. What I recall, I was correct. And like you said, I don't think enough people appreciated that, which just makes me wonder, like, what do you want? Is it because they're both relatively new to the main roster and you don't know them well enough? Like, can you not just appreciate like good wrestling for what it is? I don't know, but hopefully that changes, and that match was the start of something in general.
And I might be a little bit biased because I've been watching NXT since it became a thing, but and we've talked about this on past episodes. Like, I mean, when you're watching Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, you're browsing your phone, you're checking Twitter and all that stuff. When Candice and Dakota were having this match, I was glued to the TV. I'm like, these women are just so damn talented, and it's just nice to see everyone getting time to shine. You could pinpoint a few names maybe that are being left off TV, but I think Triple H has done a pretty solid job managing the roster so far. Tuck, was there anything else from either SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, maybe even NXT that caught your eye this week before we move on?
No.
Erica, anything else you'd like to add?
No.
So let's move on to AEW then. But before we do that, we have to hear what the listeners are saying about the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
What's everybody saying about the On the Mark podcast?
It's just insane, and I love it.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
Unlike any other.
It's a great show.
We'll be right back after a brief intermission.
Man, I missed that. He has to do that. It's a tradition unlike any other. A few more comments here before we get into AEW. Robbie Collins saying the women's division has become my favorite division between the women's and the men's. It's hard to disagree with him. And Jeff Samuel's gonna yell about it. Sup, guys? You think Piper Nevin will be back? Possibly Royal Rumble return? Jeff, thanks for commenting. I'm sorry, I just had to.
Jeez, some of us work and we have
I cannot stand you.
Who, Kyle?
Yeah, he's the worst.
No, but answer this question for Jeff. He's asking a question. You think we could maybe see that?
For sure.
In
the Rumble, definitely.
I welcome it. Yeah. She doesn't have to be Dewdrop. Come on now. We get it.
Yeah, we don't need to hear the Dewdrop. Yeah, let's move on.
Why, that wasn't on your Spotify Wrapped?
No, it's a shocker to many. My Spotify Rap Top 5 was all WWE and AEW. So,
dude, I only do Apple Music. I miss out on the Spotify fun every year.
It's fun. It's fun.
And I only care about it at this time of the year.
The 1 week that the Spotify Rap comes out. Because everyone has to post about it. It's just a thing that people do. But by the way, if our podcast was in your top 5, send us a screenshot, tweet at us at Pot on the Mark. We were number 3 on Ian's, and we were number 2 on mine. The Ringer Wrestling Show was number 1. I mean, I listen to ours on all platforms. YouTube, iTunes. Did you get snot on you?
No, I was gonna say I got lipstick on my sweatshirt, not snot.
Look into it. Thank you, Sir Vogus.
Oh, well, there you go. Apple Music.
Some of us aren't rich and get Apple Music. Please.
Comes on my cell phone bill. I don't even know I pay it.
It's just one of those things, right? It gets paid and you don't even notice. Out of sight, out of mind. I hear you.
Yep.
So let's go to Dynamite, which was right down the road for me this week in Indianapolis. And shout out to MJF for the fantastic middle finger picture. He used his middle finger as the eye in Indy. Yeah, and I thought that was a nice little touch from him. But we can go over a few things, of course, because winter is coming in a few weeks, actually. And one of the things that happened on Dynamite was Bryan Danielson versus Dax Harwood. Erica's got the American Dragon hoodie on right now. I have
my full FTR shirt.
Oh, look at you. You're a walking billboard for this segment. Erica, did you get to watch Dynamite last night?
I did. I made sure that I could watch Dynamite. I love this match.
You had to enjoy this one then, correct?
If this was like a match that I was like, oh, I don't care if I have like plans or like someone asked me to do something. I'm canceling. I'm watching this match live. Luckily I didn't have plans, but it was awesome. It was just as good as I thought it would be. It's just 2 wrestlers wrestling.
Top guys.
And it was great. It was delicious. I loved the little bit at the end. The little bit at the end when like Dax walks off and then he's like, "No, I'm just kidding." Like comes back for the handshake. I just like the hug, like just like the respect between them. There was just like so much to it, even though there was like no build for the match. It was just, I don't know. I loved it.
Wait, no build to an AEW match on Dynamite?
Unheard of.
They do that?
Breaking news.
Can't be.
This is an On the Mark podcast breaking news update.
Breaking news update.
I missed that soundbite. Tuck, can you add that to this week's episode just right there and then?
I could. No, I will. I'm not going to do that, but I can make a cut-in video for you. I could probably.
Oh, I will use that.
He said, "I'll do you one better."
Yeah, there's really not like specifics to talk about other than it was just good pro wrestling. Tuck, was there anything you wanted to add from this match? I'm sure you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And that's all that needs to be said. Steve saying Dax has had so many great matches this year, whether it's singles or tag. He has to be a contender for Wrestler of the Year. I think that's a fair point, but we need to see him more frequently, maybe on some PLEs, and he was left off of Full Gear. But, I mean, he always is putting on good matches. That's for damn sure. And with Bryan Danielson, you really can't go wrong. So let's move on here to the MJF promo, because we got to hear from MJF for the first time since he won the title at Full Gear. He revealed a brand new Burberry title, which makes total sense for him. In this promo, Erica, he kind of said a lot of things that he said before, how he is the face of the company, mentioned the bidding war of 2024, etc. And speaking of which, I actually tweeted this out on my personal account, and I wanted to give you credit because you're the one that brought this up a couple podcasts ago. I think the more they're leaning into this on television, the more I believe that there might be a deal done. You might be onto something here, Marini.
I think he's just a natural born troll, and that's what he does. And I don't see it. But you know what? We have a whole year to go. So who knows? I think as of right now, there's no chance of it, but we could see what happens. Also, I have to say, I liked in this promo how you said, like, he repeated a lot of things that he's previously said, but he effortlessly set up feuds with Eddie, Bryan Danielson, Ricky Starks. I can't think of anybody else. So, like, that was just set himself up. I do have to say, I was watching it, and for a split second, I was like, "Oh, that's our champion." I don't know if I mean that because.
Oh, do you mean that in a negative way?
Yeah.
She said
not
it.
that I'm not.
She said it.
Okay.
Not that I'm not buying it. It's more like you have these guys, and not to take anything away from him, because as you know, I've sung his praises. He can really do no wrong. But you have like a John Moxley, Hangman, even
Larger
fucking
than
CM
life.
Punk. Yes, they almost seem like grown-ups compared to MJF that seems like a shithead 26-year-old that's like not quite there yet to be the company's champion. Something. I don't know what that is, but it just didn't. I don't know. I think they did the Burberry belt to solidify that his reign. I don't know.
Erica, I don't think you're crazy, because a little bit of me when watching this segment kind of felt the same way. And maybe it's just because it's very early in this title run, and he will have great feuds, great defenses, and we're like, oh yeah, this guy is definitely world championship material. Yeah. And I definitely believe he is. He has everything that you need in a champion, just maybe because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
That it's hard to believe. You saw John Moxley hold titles in other companies. Hangman Page, he was at the top of the card from the beginning. He had that world title match with Chris Jericho. Tuck, other than the new belt, what do we feel about MJF as world champion? His first promo back.
I'm here for it. I'm just interested to see where it goes. I think the validity is going to come down the road here with some of his other feuds and rivalries that set themselves up. And because it's so recent, I think it's possible to have that reaction. Like, fair. Is this our champion? Right? Like, how does it feel? You get a new haircut, you forget about it the next morning, and you're like, do I still like it? I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah, and Vogus's comment, he brought up Bruno Sammartino.
He started a feud with Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I do like how he did lay out like a path of what his title run could be. That was a good comment. Robbie saying MJF is probably my second favorite wrestler right now. I just weirdly love him. Think, as you guys are saying, he's the young sort of crazy type of champion, and Robbie's loving it. And Steve's comparing MJF to the Brian Pillman of our generation, meaning only he knows what he is doing. Another comment from Steve, I would not be surprised if he is already re-signed. So he's agreeing with you, Erica, with the company. it would be a missed opportunity if they don't do the 2024 storyline that he could leave the company as champion. Kind of similar to CM Punk leaving the company when he won in Chicago over John Cena. Ryan Vogus says, I love MJF. He's still very Miz to me. I think that belt really didn't do much of a difference because maybe it's just the color scheme. I don't get it.
No, it's like
it's not distinct enough to match the scarf type. I mean, it looks like, I guess it's the handbag
subtle.
Material, I guess. Right?
It's too subtle.
The BBB.
I don't know. It's handsome, and that's what we're gonna have to hear. The triple B, like
that's part of the heel gimmick, brother.
No.
But that's what I mean. Like, imagine like going to a show. Like, you go to a show and you're like waiting for like John Moxley to come out, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, and then it's like, I'm gonna go to the show to wait. Believe me, I've gone to the shows and MJF comes out and I pop just like everybody else.
People want to go to the show to boo the hell out of them.
But I'm not there to. I'm not there yet to boo. I don't know. I'm not at the boo. I don't know.
Such a mark. Such a mark, Erica.
What?
It's
don't come for me.
It's in our show.
I couldn't handle it.
I don't mind the new color scheme. Robbie says.
I've booed a couple people before.
Tucky and I get into it.
Yeah,
we are in the top 5%.
Well, yeah.
We won't go there, Erica. Don't worry. We've had this
That's
conversation.
fine. No, I boo at local shows.
You get into it. I'm not taking anything away from you, girl. Thanks. Don't worry.
I started chants last week.
Hell yeah.
People were embarrassed. But
at your brewery show?
Hell yeah.
Speaking of indie shows, me and a couple of the boys are going to Warrior Wrestling in a couple of weekends. Your boy Eddie is on the card. Max Caster's on the card. I know there's some other big names that I'm totally forgetting right now, but it should be a good time because we got SmackDown on Friday, me, Ian, and the Vogus clan, and you have all of us four plus Tyler Walk and Mikey Kabaki Jr. going to Warrior Wrestling.
Awesome.
Baki was so sold on Black Label Pro. He's like, you got to tell me when these indie shows are going. They're so much fun. I go, yes.
That's right.
That's what I try to tell people.
Up Baki's alley. Yeah. It's a little niche. He's a little closer,
Little picture with Billy Starks, who's 17.
Are they doing meet and greets?
Mez too. Yes, correct. They are doing meet and greets. Yes, Erica.
Get one with Eddie.
Yeah, Mez is going to. Forgot to put that on the record. We have 6 or 7. I can't even count anymore. There's a lot going on. The big thing though that happened on this promo that we haven't even.
It wasn't no sell. Confirmed.
What?
Erica said, "Get a meet and greet with Eddie."
And what'd you say?
I said no.
He said no.
I said no. Don't worry. I
thought you just didn't even acknowledge it.
It would almost be better if he did. I would just assume that he didn't hear me, was ignoring me.
Eddie's a bum. I'm with MJF. He's a bum. I would run laps around him in the squared circle.
Okay.
You kidding me?
Eddie, if you're listening.
Come on the pod and discuss. Maybe we'll talk about it at Warrior Wrestling. No. We got to talk about what happened on this promo. We're still not done. William Regal is dead, or it seemed as if so, as MJF hit him with the brass knuckles. I'm just throwing shit out there now. But yeah, MJF turned on Regal, which I love because he uses the man that originally denied him, said he wasn't good enough for getting in the WWE to get that title. He then gets that title and he lays him out, Tuck. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I do think it gives his championship run a little bit of a different edge now, right? Okay, he's going alone, or he's got something else in the works. So let's see what it is.
Erica, thoughts on the turn so soon?
I don't know if I guess I'm not surprised. I don't know if I would have been cool if it went and the two of them were in cahoots for a while. You got to figure eventually there's going to be a turn. I don't think I expected it this soon, but at the same time, I respect it because MJF is just going to do it from here on out on his own. I saw some people say that, is this his way to get back to WWE? But then I also thought I read that he signed like a 3-year deal or something.
So, Tuck, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, because I know Sean Ross Sapp has briefly discussed this contract situation. I am guessing that his contract is up in December. At least that's what I've seen through a couple of YouTube channels. Tuck, does that sound right?
Yeah, Fightful said there are a number of people under the impression that his contract was through December. Not a steadfast date, no firm guarantee, but that's kind of a working opinion.
So this could be a way to just completely write William Regal off of AEW television, and then he returns to WWE, which makes a lot of sense because, I mean, he was a big part of NXT. He's very close with Hunter. You get him in that new regime. I think that is a massive W for the WWE.
Agreed, but how do you do it? Because we're not pretending that each other doesn't exist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not Vince's WWE where we're like, we blinders on and we're the only company that exists. Like, we acknowledge the others now. So how do you do that? Like, I mean, and it could just take a cheeky comment from Regal just to say like, oh, I'll make some like stupid comment about like MJF or like the people over there and move on. But I'm just curious, like, whatever. We would all welcome him back, and I'd be, or Vogus, they just say War Games. We missed that. Bianca tried, but we
even Triple H tweeted out that video of Regal saying War Games.
Yeah,
and
we needed it.
It was beautiful, and
we
could potentially be getting that back. If we do get him back, though, Tuck, I know we saw him in NXT as the GM, but what do you think about him maybe embracing a role on the main roster as the general manager?
Well, if you want to heat up the Raw and SmackDown brand split and give it a different edge, I know that it's kind of amorphous right now. Like, it's not super distinct. It would be a way, give Adam Pearce one, give Regal the other. I think that could be fun, maybe, or just put him in front of a faction.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with William Regal, whether he takes a backstage role, head of talent relations. I mean, so valuable to the company, and it'd be cool to see him return with Triple H. I like what he did in AEW, though. I thought there were some solid things there.
I Googled it.
Oh, what happened?
Texted Amorphous, and then I piqued my a lot of new words I learned are from wrestling. Corey Graves has a great vocabulary.
He does.
Michael Cole, Jim Tucker.
They work on it.
Thank you for that.
I was a big fan of Delicious when you used it to describe.
Thank you. The match between. Yes,
it's the food talk that gets me, Erica.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's why you got to get that.
I appreciate it. Last thing, shout out to Mikey Wilson there. It's a little inside joke. The main event of Dynamite, the Elite versus Death Triangle in their best of 7. They obviously were down 2-0 going into this, and that's why the Elite attacked them before the match. I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch the match because I was watching the Indiana Hoosiers at this point, but do you guys have anything you'd like to talk about? I do know the Elite picked up the win here in the main event.
Pretty poorly attended Dynamite. They were like 1,300 less than the last time they were in the same building.
Was it the Coliseum?
Main event? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Main event was good, but are we going to get tired of it?
This series?
Yeah.
And they're doing it
like
frequently.
They're early in the series, like nobody can lose yet. So are you dying to tune in? Best of 7's a lot.
So wait, what are we at now? 3-0?
No, it's 2-1. 2-1 Death Triangle.
I don't know. How do you keep it going?
It's got to go to 7. They don't announce a best of 7.
No, but are we going to do this every other week?
Yes.
And like Tuck said, does it get old? You couldn't have, I mean, I get it best out of 7 because you've done like best out of 5.
I don't think the titles did switch, did they? Vogus has to do the title switch every time.
I think the winner of the series gets the titles. That's what I think. I don't remember seeing them holding the gold.
Yeah.
I believe that is correct. Erica, anything you would like to add, though, to this series?
No, but watching this last 2 weeks of the new BTE, I just appreciate this match or these matches between these two even more, like kind of watching the boys plan it out. I don't know. I guess I am just Marky and I like stuff like that. So I just think it's cool that they for now it's cool, but we probably will get tired of it. But just for them trying to keep it fresh, and if anybody could do it, it is the 6 of them. So
yeah, it's a fair point. You said it's
there also might be shenanigans. Yeah.
For the title, Steve saying right result now with the Elite winning keeps the series unpredictable.
Yeah.
If Death Triangle had won, then it would have been a predictable 3.
And you would almost think like it's a what's the match where like best whatever, but like like 2 out of 3 falls. We're like, oh, okay, you got one. Oh, now I get one. Like it is predictable. If they got 3, then you knew that Elite would get the next 3 and it would ultimately culminate for that 7th match. But I don't know.
Totally. And Steve's just confirming titles can only change hands at the end of the series, like we assumed, and Death Triangle are still the champions. And like Bogus said, I'll watch Game 7, the one that matters the most. Yeah. That's how I am. That's how I am with the NBA Finals. If it isn't the Chicago Bulls, I ain't watching until there's a Game 6 or a Game 7. That's just how it is. One last thing, though, from AEW I found interesting. Meltzer brought up the ratings. They did an 870,000, and it was a 0.26, which was the lowest ever in the demographic 18 to 49. And they were unopposed on this Wednesday, too. Tuck, I'm sure you saw a little bit about the ratings. Is there something specific that you think they're doing wrong, or is just a random week that they didn't pop a rating?
Well, like, I mean, they do well when they announce early, and they've done well with the kind of like veiled clues of re-debuts. Everybody knew CM Punk was coming back, right? And so you tune in. Right now we're just kind of lacking that, and there's a little bit of shine off the product. There's not a lot of like feuds you want to see. Like we're just early, I think, but where are we going?
Well, that's what I kind of commented on too on my Twitter. It was like we're on the come down from Full Gear, and we're still setting up that next batch of feuds for the next pay-per-view. Sure, you have Winter is coming, but we all know Ricky Starks is not going to defeat MJF. And then they're setting up another title opportunity for whoever wins the ring in the Battle Royal coming up. So there's just a lot of title opportunities, not really one feud that they're focusing in on with MJF. That's my thoughts. Erica, you got anything you'd like to add?
I didn't like the Jade thing last night.
I didn't either. I'm glad you brought that up.
Loved her outfit, but did not like that. I didn't like.
What's the Bow Wow shit?
And what does he think he's gonna do? Get into the ring and fight her? Like,
is it room for a debut of like another female?
Yeah, but who?
If he shows
Mercedes.
Up.
No, is it going to be? Is it going to be like what's her name? Like Kiara Hogan? Like because she got kicked out of the bed. But that's not good like either. That. And then it seemed like Red Velvet and Layla Gray were kind of just like, like I don't know if they turn on her. Like I don't know what they're doing with her, and I feel bad. But like I know she belongs on TV because it's Jade Cargill, but I just think that putting her on TV just to put her on TV and having nothing of substance other than like, look how good I look. I don't know. It kind of like takes away from it.
I do appreciate them putting the TBS champion on TBS though for the time being. They usually just keep her for TNT.
They just have it's just going to be it's not even like an intercontinental. It's not even like a mid-card belt at this point because who is going to feud for it? No offense to Nyla. You have Jade. I don't know anybody else that fucking wants it. Also, can I touch on one thing? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, at what point does it become champion versus champion where Jade and Jamie Hayter go at it or somebody else?
Like, does TBS need a title? Do you need it, TBS? Are you you got Big Bang Theory.
Do you need a belt in AEW? Yes, you need a belt in AEW. Everyone needs one.
Then get a whatever belt. I just saw before we hopped on air. This is Vogus. I put you on this. Did Ruby Riott get a nose job?
Well, she broke her or fractured her nose, didn't she, Tuck?
And she got the whole thing off.
Oh yeah, she returned. We forgot to mention that. How we feel? Ruby Soho, Destination Unknown.
And who did she go after?
Kai Conti.
Yeah, right. Oh, and Willow wrestled last night.
Willow did wrestle last night. But like Bogus said, they kind of just do random matches with no build. But sometimes they hit. What were your thoughts on Hangman Page's return? I think we all like that, right? We like Hangman.
That was something. Yeah, that was something.
That definitely was a something. I would agree. Erica, anything else before we get to one of my new favorite segments on OTM? Oh wait, Tuck, are you raising your hand? You got something?
I am. I enjoyed the Acclaimed promo with Daddy Ass.
Jog my memory. I'm forgetting.
He was like yelling. He was like yelling at him, and both of them were standing like they were at like boot camp or something. And they were Max Caster was trying his damnedest not to pop, and it was just fun. Like I made sure I watched that. A lot of times the shit that's on TV that's not in the ring, you can like look away. I just had fun with it.
And that's something I feel like maybe you could do with Jade. It doesn't always have to be in ring. I get it with the Bow Wow thing, and I get it that she's been backstage, but maybe that should be my tomatoes because I'm scared.
Hey, you know what? It could be whatever you want it to be because it's time. It's that time of the show. Erica's tomatoes. Who are we throwing them at today?
I mean, it could be the book of Jade Cargill.
We need I think we need a video package for the tomatoes too.
Doesn't people throwing tomatoes at Fozzie Bear?
Yes, that's a winner.
It's me throwing tomatoes at Fozzie Bear.
Photoshop your face or Erica Macaroni.
Yes, it would be her. I mean, yes, ultimately my tomatoes should go to whoever is doing this Jade Cargill nonsense. I started watching I'm scared to do this tomatoes because I started watching the Teddy Hart documentary.
Nobody watches our podcast
on Peacock, and I gotta say that guy is a royal piece of shit. And Kyle's frozen. Okay, good. That guy is fucking terrifying. And I guess I'd never watched his YouTube videos that he had put out with like Maria Manic and stuff. But my God, I am one segment in, and that guy is just a sociopathic, like, piece of shit, literal piece of shit. And fuck you, Teddy Hart. I hope you rot in hell. Sorry, I'm not like he's terrible. Get the tomatoes out of here. You're gonna come kill me.
Don't worry. That's the point of the segment. We want somebody to come kill you, Erica. I mean, what? Sorry. Let's move on to what? Let's move on to my favorite part of the show, the MVM of OTM. It is the most valuable mark of the podcast. People that tune in live, interacting the most quality comments. And this week we have and still MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. It was his birthday earlier this week, and he is still the MVM, Robbie Collins. Congrats, my friend.
Yay, Robbie. Happy birthday, Robbie. How old are you, Robbie?
This is our birthday gift to him, I guess we could say, right?
But you know what? You deserve it.
He also got some merch for his birthday. You see that?
I saw, yes.
Smart man. His mom probably went to the onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com, and it does ship overseas. Now that is confirmed since Robbie lives across the pond. So shout out to him winning the MVM. Just turned 17, I believe. And shout out to everybody that tuned in live.
He's 17.
Yeah,
I thought he went to college.
Maybe they go to college at a younger age there. I don't know.
Are you Doogie Howser? Am I aging myself? Does anyone know who Doogie Howser is?
I think that's before my time. I think that's before my time, Erica. But yeah, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up here for episode 125. Erica, you got any final remarks as we sign off?
I don't think so. It was a good week of wrestling. I hope things kind of turn around for AEW, and I hope things continue to progress and upward for WWE, and I hope the bloodline stays together forever.
Erica, let me ask you this question. I asked Steve on his live stream because he brought up the Royal Rumble. I want early Royal Rumble picks. If you had to pick a winner from each Royal Rumble, who would you pick right now?
Sami Zayn.
Okay.
I don't know. Everybody says Becky. I don't want Becky.
Go with Becky.
I don't want it.
It doesn't have to be too serious. I'm going with Cody and Rhea Ripley. Rhea's
a good one. Rhea's a good one.
What about Sasha re-debuting at the Royal Rumble? That would be something.
Oh, imagine 30.
Like,
man. Yes, y'all. So fresh, y'all. Snoop Dogg and Sasha Banks. We the best, y'all. That's pretty much the song, right?
It. Well, you know, and usually things I hope for like that don't end up happening.
See, Vogus and I just smart guys, top guys. He gets it. He said Rhea and Cody, and Robbie, you're a loyal man. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna bash
Come
him.
on, dog.
Tucky,
Come on, dog.
any final remarks as we head on out?
He waited until after he got that MVM to put a comment in there like that. That's what he did. I'm onto your shit, Robbie. No further comments.
Then send us home, Tucky. I think we're done here.
Okay, into my next section. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in next week because we're going to be talking about some pro wrestling, AEW, WWE, you know, all the hot rumors, gossip, and Kyle.
NXT deadline and probably winter is coming. Me and you will talk about Tuck. Erica will be absent.
Oh my God. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see. Yeah, I look forward to us seeing. Wish me luck this weekend. Going to Sacramento, racing the California International Marathon on Sunday. My legs feel like shit. Let's get a new PR, people.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling.
Okay.